Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Yom Kippur, Hachana. Okay, so we're going to finish off the Sikha today. Basically, so we're talking about how this awesome, lovely Shiur and Mechaper, but the way to tap into it, the way to sort of bring that out is through fulfilling the mitzvahs of the day. Again, it's like an important thing to realize that it's not that this day is way above and beyond anything. It's just certain things you have to do to bring it out. Not that if you don't fast, let's say, so then the Shiur is not there. It just you don't tap into that. You're not able to get into that. Now, so then we start talking about the avoid of the kohen gadol. Let's see. We'll go through that. We'll go from that again from Hey. We also find this idea of this Shiur, but you have to do the avodah. You have to do doing tshuva and fasting. We find also by the avodah of the kohen gadol, Yom Kippur. One of the main avodas of the kohen gadol on this day of Yom Kippur was he would enter into the Holy of Holies. This is the one time a year the kohen gadol enters the Holy of Holies, a very, very deep level. He says, like we said yesterday, we started doing this. So on going into the hakedoshim, it says no one can get into them, not even an angel. It says, there's no person can go to El Moed. He says in the Yishalmi, Afilu Isan Shikas Behem Udumus Bnei Adam, and the image, like the image of a person. She's talking about the holy angels. Even the angels can't go into the kodesh because this is a level way above even the angels. Meaning, it's meaning to say that the avodah of Yom Kippur is revealing the unity that a Yid has, that we have with Hashem, such an extent. The kohen gadol was a shliach for all of us. That it's revealing the unity with Hashem. Yisrael malchu b'chudei, the Jew and Hashem alone. And that's why even the angel, which you think of an angel, is perfect, and there's so many levels that you could sort of interpret at this. Meaning we all want to be angels. We think angels are good. And even in Kippur, we act like angels. But ultimately, we're saying us without faults is ultimately higher than angels that are perfect. Even more than this, the hakedoshim, the kohen gadol entering to the Holy of Holies, he was also even the second base of Mikdash. Now, the second base of Mikdash wasn't as great as the first base of Mikdash. But the second base of Mikdash was no iron. It was already hidden. So even though it wasn't perfect, and it wasn't a low level, nevertheless, but we were still able to go there. So Mikach move on. This is understood. Shahoisazu, Knissa, Lamakim, Vedagazu, Hanailas, Minatera. So this is showing us that when they went to the hakedoshim, it's a level way above, even from the Torah. I feel like even higher level than the Torah as it is engraved in the luchis, because the luchis weren't even there. Meaning like this. I can understand we're talking about this high level of the lukus when you have the first base of Mikdash and you have the Arai with the luchos. But we're saying even when the luchos aren't there, the second base of Mikdash, still we're reaching this high level. That still a yid comes in there. I have the obey tshuva al yidei Torah tshuva shalmayim Torah here. And what's the difference between tshuva that's with the Torah and tshuva that's above the Torah? The tshuva that's done through the Torah is just a revelation. Even the tshuva, like we said before, is already above Torah because it's going to fix up the mistakes that the Torah says those mistakes. The tshuva is on a deeper level. That's why the tshuva is a high level in Torah because it can even fix up things from the Torah. Even the mitzvah of learning Torah. Now, there's an obligation for a man to learn Torah. Not just to learn Torah, like for a woman, the obligation is to understand, to learn Torah in a way so she knows what to do. But for a man, if he knows the whole Torah, let's say he knew everything, he still has to learn Torah. That's why it says it's one of those mitzvahs that you always fall on. Even if a person that entire mitzvahs, doing tshuva can even fix up that lacking. Nevertheless, ultimately, this is all levels of revelation. But the tshuva that comes above Torah, he has achdus im atzmus yisbarach. This is the unity with Hashem's essence, which is l'mayla megilu, which is even above revelation. So even tshuva, and even the tshuva that's above revelation, tshuva Torah, which is revelation, and tshuva and the tshuva that comes above Torah, they can even fix up even things like we said, not learning Torah, which is something that's very important and something very hard to go over. But nevertheless, it doesn't come to the unity that's above all these things, because that's even above revelation. Okay, just like in terms of the Mikdash, Neitra, Haiskashos, Ha'atzmis, Bein Neshamas Yisrael, Bein HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ha'idek Nisas, Shel Kohen Gadol, Hakedoshim, Yom Kippurim. Now, even though we have, or just like in the times of the base of Mikdash, this revelation of the unity with the Yid and Hashem was expressed when the kohen gadol went to the kodesh hakedoshim. So you might say, I don't have a base of Mikdash anymore. There's no base of Mikdash. There's no kohen gadol. So we didn't have that type of unity of revelation. So also now we have misbate inyan zeh, but in the davening of Yom Kippur, with this same revelation gets revealed. Because davening is in the place of the carbon. Now we're going to explain a very interesting idea. So there's a famous, everyone knows that there's a last prayer of Yom Kippur, which is called Ne'ilah. So Ne'ilah is, as we all know, it's talking about the closing of the gate. Like we say Ne'ilah, that to open the gate for us so that we shouldn't be left behind. And Ne'ilah sort of we're closing up the gates, and please, everyone trying to run in. Like to use the example of the kid's book that I have at home from my son. That's not a Lubavitcher book. That one of the things it says over there is that like we try to get an early judgment because the judge is a lot more forgiving earlier on in the day. So it's like we're trying to get ourselves into the gates. Now you're going to see the way the Rebbe teaches this idea. Now, we started talking about how even though we don't have the base of Mikdash, we don't have the kohen gadol, but our davening is exactly the same idea. So we can express the same idea that we've been learning that happened in the time of Mikdash to our own avodah. And I'm going to explain. Yom Kippur was one of the only days of the year, Achas B'Shana, that you have 5 prayers. And these 5 levels of davening we have 5 tefillos, which is the only time in the year, it corresponds to the 5 levels of neshama. Yeah, the nefesh, ruach, and neshama, and the chay yechida, which in simple terms, the nefesh, ruach, and neshama are parts of the neshama as it is within you. It's like the nefesh, like the baseline, the physical, ruach, the emotional, neshama, the intellectual, and the chay yechida is yiratzain, and it levels above it, like yechida is like you one with Hashem. So these are the 5 levels, and these 5 levels connected with the davenings. Now, Tefillah Chamish is the 5th davening. Shemishpalim Rak Yom Kippurim Hu Tefillas Ne'ilah. The highest davening, the one davening that's special that we don't have ever throughout the year, it's called Ne'ilah. Mostly in Shabbos, you have Shachris, Musaf, Mincha, Mariv. That's 4. But on Yom Kippur, you also have Ne'ilah. And this is the way above and beyond. And in the davening of Ne'ilah, Mizgalas Bechinas hakedoshim neshama. The yechid of the neshama is being revealed. This level, this unity, like we said before, the nefesh ruach neshama is not what's within us. Chaya is already above us. It's already yechida is totally, it's yachid means singular, one, not one Not even one, a single, meaning it's totally connected. And that level is being revealed specifically in general Yom Kippur and specifically by Ne'ilah. That's the level as we are one with Hashem. V'sham, and there, by this Ne'ilah prayer, ein makom l'shum davar milvad hakedosh baruch hu b'nei Yisrael. There's nothing else. There's no space for anything else. Nothing else can exist. Like the kohen gadol going to kodesh hakedoshim, not even an angel can be there. On the davening of Ne'ilah, so normally the world says the davening of Ne'ilah is the scariest because it's the last chance we have before our fate is being decided. But the Rebbe is saying it differently. He goes, when it comes to Ne'ilah, it's this level that there's no one else, nothing else, but Asan Hashem. So this is what it means according to Chassidus Ne'ilah. Not according to Chassidus, this is the deeper meaning. This is the deeper meaning of Ne'ilah. That Noelim es kol sha'arim, you're locking all the gates. So normally the world said, you're locking all the gates, I got to run in and get in time before the gate closed and I'm stuck outside and then I'm in trouble. It's going to be a bad year. But the Rebbe says it differently. He goes, we're closing all the gates. And no one can come in. That Ne'ilah is not that we're closing the gate and you have to run in before we finish up. Ne'ilah is we're closing the gate that no one else can come in besides you and Hashem. Ne'ilah is that level, it's just you and God. There's no one else. No one else can exist, not even angels, just us and Hashem. And it's such a different spin. Because without Chassidus, Ne'ilah is the scariest time. It's my last chance to get in. With Chassidus, Ne'ilah is the time that's only me and Hashem. Even though this is mainly revealed in Ne'ilah, in general, but in general, Yom Kippur has even specifically Ne'ilah has this point, but it's in general Yom Kippur is like this. Asan Hashem, that's it. Like it says, the day that is obligated in 5 davenings, meaning the whole day is required with 5 davenings. Meaning even though every single time period has its davening, Shachris is Shachris, Musaf Musaf, Mincha is Mincha, Mav is Mariv, Ne'ilah is Ne'ilah. But the fact of the matter is the Erev Tefillah is V'arvid, Boik Shachris, Yitzbay. Im Kol Zeh, but nevertheless, Yom Shenischayev B'chamesh Tefillah, the day that is required in 5 davenings, meaning Ki B'chlalus Hu Yom Shemei Boich Misha B'chinas Yachim. The fact that it says the day that's required 5 davenings, meaning the day itself has this aspect of the 5 davenings. So even the whole day of Yom Kippur has this inyan of Ne'ilah. When it comes to Ne'ilah, so to bring it down, to bring it out a little bit. That when it comes to Ne'ilah tomorrow, that what we're saying is that when we think about Ne'ilah, like we said before, it's like going to Yechidus. When you go to Yechidus, the door gets closed and just you and the Rebbe. So this is the same thing. We're saying Ne'ilah comes and just us and Hashem. And we got to and we got to meditate on this level. It's not like, oh yeah, I got now. A little kid sort of like, it's us and me and Hashem's now going to ask him for all my toys. It's not about that. It's a much deeper level. You can also ask for your needs because your needs are part of what you need to be able to serve Hashem. But what we're saying is, but when you're thinking about it, is a lot deeper than that. When you come, it's like when you came to the Rebbe, you didn't ask for brachos, I want like my toys, my this. You asked for things that were deep, that were needed, that were very important. And you're connecting, you're tapping into your neshama. And what am I meant to be doing myself? What is my life meant to be going? How am I meant to live my life? How am I meant to connect to Hashem more? And this is so too the idea of Ne'ilah. When you come to Ne'ilah, it's like meant to, the feeling that it's meant to produce within us is like this fear of awe. And like, whoa, it just got an eye. And it's like tapping in and thinking about that and like realizing, it's not I'm worried I'm about to get chucked out. I'm not going to get in. I have to run in to get into the gate before the gate closes. But the gate is already closed and I'm already inside. And there's no one else here. There's no other, nothing else, no even angels, nothing holy, just God and I. And this is that level. So yeah, that's the end of the Sikha. So just to do a quick summary, the last time, so basically we had this whole discussion in the beginning that between Chachamim and Rebbe about Shuvah on Yom Kippur. That Chachamim say you have to do the Yom Kippur. You have that. The first way we understood it was that the Chachamim say you have to do tshuva, and the Rebbe says it's that the day itself does turns. You don't have to do anything. So then we explain it doesn't mean that the Chachamim say do tshuva, so you don't have to do tshuva. That the day itself, they both agree the day itself returns. There's this high level of attainment that we get, that we reach up, that is revealed on Yom Kippur, that we get a turn. But the question is, do we have to do something for it? So Rabbi said, essentially, there's nothing that you can do to tap in this level. This level is way above and beyond anything. It's above your Torah mitzvah, it's above your tshuva, it's totally above everything. It doesn't matter what you do. What you do is irrelevant to it. Whereas Chacham said, no, it's not true. You still have to do something. It's not that what you do affects it, so to speak, because it's way above and beyond, but you still should do something. And ultimately we said, and this also, what's this idea of the Sesiyam being Yerushalayim and Kippurim? So we said this is the aspect that's between, that's not between. There's the aspect between, there's a simple tshuva they have to do in all the mitzvahs of the day, like fasting and things like that, and then asking for them doing tshuva. But that's a low level of Yom Kippur. That the Yom Kippur is part of the Sesiyam tshuva, like we have with Rosh Hashanah. But then there's a level of Yom Kippur, also like we have with Rosh Hashanah, that's way above and beyond. And ultimately, it's this level of like Yechidah. This is the level of oneness we have with Hashem. And the way we reveal it, even according to Rabbi, they said you don't have to do anything, but still he says you have to do the mitzvahs of the day, because otherwise you like that's mitzvah of the day. I will bring out this level. Otherwise, you don't get that revelation. The revelation doesn't happen. And then we said, and we see this. We can see this even by us now in the way we daven, just like the kohen gadol. The kohen gadol, the highlight of the year, so to speak, or highlight of the Yom Kippur service, the kohen gadol going to the kodesh hakedoshim. That even the kodesh hakedoshim, like it says in the Yerushalmi, no one could be in there, meaning not even angels. That's a level way above an angels, way above your mitzvahs, way above your tshuva, Shiur and God. And this is sort of like the level of Ne'ilah, the Ne'ilah prayer. And like we said, that the Ne'ilah prayer is that time where that is like the pinnacle of this revelation, of this level of unity that I ask with Hashem. It's the fifth prayer relating to the fifth level of the neshama, and that's the level that we have. That when we're doing the Ilah, which is closing of the gate, it means that the gate is closed. It's already closed, but it's you and God alone, and no one else, nothing else, no angels, nothing holy, nothing spiritual, and just you and Hashem. And essentially the whole day, like we said, the whole day has this. It just Ne'ilah, it will bring out the most. And just to finish off a last point that I think we can bring out a little bit is this idea that we have to realize that this level, no angels can be there. Now you're going to ask, why can't angels be there? Angels are perfect. They don't do anything wrong. So why aren't they able to be in that level? What are they lacking? Whereas us, we get to be in there, us, that we are lacking, that we don't do always mitzvahs, we do our best, we have to do tshuva. Angels don't have tshuva to do. So why aren't they able to be in there? Seemingly, if we can be there, they're for sure angels. But the answer is, I think it's pretty phenomenal. But we have to realize that struggles of life is what makes us special. You know, it's not that our job in life is not to be perfect. Our job is to try. And the fact that we have these challenges, and the fact that we have Yetzer Hara, we have to realize we have to contend with the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is always there, knocking on our door, trying to bother us and annoy us and disturb us and tell us not to do the right thing. And I have that struggle. That's what makes us special. And that's what makes us so holy. Not holy because we're perfect, but holy because of the challenges. And that challenge the Yetzer Hara doesn't have. So the Yetzer Hara is the old. So the Malachim don't have this. So Malachim, their whole service is in a certain sense very meaningless. You know, to have a robot do everything you tell it to do, it's a robot. It doesn't have any feelings, emotions, any thoughts of its own. It's a robot. That's what a malach is. An angel's robots. And so therefore, as good and as subservient as they are, they're nothing really. There's nothing that special about them. That's why they can't go to this level. Whereas us, with our challenges, with our mistakes, you know, with all the ugliness that it comes with, that's what makes us special. That's what makes us be able to go in. And we should realize that our mistakes, when we look back of not mistakes, when we look back of life and the various we do, whatever it is, of course we should do tshuva. We have to realize, like, this is part of being human. This is what being a human is, being a yid is. And this is why Hashem chose us, and that's why Hashem created the whole world and the whole city Shtalshalos. And you learn Chassidus, and in Kabbalah, how the whole thing comes about. It's such a whole process, and the whole purpose of that process is you have the free choice to how to make, and the challenge that come with that, and that's how it's meant to be. So we have to appreciate that, and don't get ourselves down. We should have a meaningful Yom Kippur, and we should feel this level of Ne'ilah, and it should be so inspiring that you won't have to think about the fasting even, not even worry, not even on your mind, because it's such a special day. And there's a big mitzvah today to eat. So you should all eat and enjoy and have a great day.